Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Sham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rachahakodash. Double honor to the elders, apostles, and the bishops at Great Millstone who taught me this truth and who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful Akim out there doing this work, wherever you may be throughout the four corners of the earth, presenting your body as a living sacrifice and chanting down Babylon the Great, which is the biblical name for America, which is ruled by the wicked, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. This is the brother who called him out for the Great Millstone Camp, the branch out in Omaha, Nebraska, coming back with another lesson, Lord willing, to feed and to edify the lost sheep of the nation of Israel through the Holy Spirit, Rachahakodash, with the Israelites consisting of the so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans by the seed of your father, no matter what you may look like. And just wanted to get into this article and also another video that I seen, more of a clip, rather. I actually have two articles, which this article and the other one are one and the same, damn near. But I'll just get this, this is from children'shealthdefense.org, and this was posted on March 20th, 2026, which was Friday, right? So it says, first and foremost, toxic exposures. 1 in 8 U.S. adults say wireless radiation is causing health issues. What does that mean for kids' health? Okay, as now, exposure to radiation is harmful to anyone and anything, right? To humans, to animals, right? To whatever, to trees. It's harmful to anything in its path. Anything's exposed to it, right? And as it says, wireless radiation, which comes from what? These big ass towers and hubs that Esau, Edom is putting up all over the damn place. Okay, now the popular reasoning, in a sense, for lack of a better term, of why these wireless towers are set up is to make make your device, your phone or whatever tablet, to operate faster. Wherever you go, you don't have to worry about not having service. You don't have to worry about that's essentially it. Just worry about not having, so you can go anywhere, and be fine and be able to call anybody from anywhere. But this is a very harmful thing to humans and to the earth, right? And Esau, Edom, as it says in the book of Revelation, was it 11 and 18? Is it 11 or 18 or 18 and 11? So, yep, it is 11 and 18, right? Which just goes into more than just the topic that I'm speaking on, because Esau, Edom, is a man who still kills, destroys. He's the son of perdition, all right, the son of destruction. So anything that gets in his path, he doesn't care what happens to him, okay? Esau, Edom, he's looking to carry out his enterprise with this MOTB spoken of in a couple chapters after this, which is in Revelation 13. Okay, he like the brothers speak on a lot. The elder here speaks on a lot. The mass production that Esau, Edom carries out, with multiple things. And I'm just gonna speak on the fact of like food and things that we consume on a daily. He's creating things in mass, but there's artificial foods. There's of course, Bill Gates printing off goddamn watermelons and different types of foods. Pretty much foods with no nutrients, just so you can continue to keep your wealth flowing. Esau, Edom cares about his money. It says that they flowing wealth. They don't care who they harm, right? But nonetheless, let's get into it. I pray this is edifying. Not sure how long this lesson is going to be. I just pray that this the spirit of Yahweh Sham, Yahweh Shai, is on me to feed the flock, right? This is Revelation 11 and verse 18. It says, "And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints," right? Which these are the men the prophets and the saints. These are the men ultimately that are of the hopeful elect, chanting down this place Babylon the Great America, right? Putting out all the information that's going on, right? Which right now what's going on very heavily is what's going on with this war with Iran. Okay, the deal with the Strait of Hormuz being closed down, right? And, there was something else that I seen today, which allegedly Iran was putting two different types of mines in the chokehold of the Strait of Hormuz just to keep people from coming over there. All right, I say specifically America. Okay, so things are going on in this world that's gonna affect us, day in and day out. All right, so the prophets of Yahweh Sham Yahweh Shai are constantly reporting, constantly putting up videos, constantly sharing information, right? It says, "And to the saints and them that fear thy name, small and great," right? Which is the innumerable multitude, right? These are people, individuals that are not necessarily prophets or meant to be teachers, but they fear the name of Yahweh, whom this world ignorantly calls God, and the name of Yahweh Shai, his only begotten Son, whom this world ignorantly calls Jesus. All right, and it says, "And shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth." Who's destroying the earth? Okay, we're trying to fulfill his enterprise. It's trying to take over the world. That's Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Okay, so we speak about how he pollutes the oceans and pollutes the food, pollutes the air, the drinking water that we have, amongst many things. But the radiation is another addition to that list. Okay, and Esau's list is much further. It says in the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter, around the 5th and 6th verse, that his sins have reached up unto the heavens, and the Most High have not forgotten them. Okay, so now let's get back to this article. It says 1 in 8 U.S. adults say wireless radiation is causing health issues. What does that mean for kids' health? 1 in 8 U.S. adults reported adverse health effects from exposure to wireless radiation, according to a peer-reviewed report published March 12th in Next Research. The study also found that people who reported symptoms of EMR, which this is what is that? Electromagnetic radiation, I believe. Yep. Well, there's actually a picture right there that says it. Yep. So EMR is electromagnetic radiation syndrome. Were more likely to report other conditions, including chemical sensitivity, asthma, autism, and fragrance sensitivity. So Esau is fucking people up, man. Okay, all for what? Ultimately, is to bring the MOTB out. Okay, because once it's not only going to be used solely for buying and selling. All right, that's going to be very, very paramount, of course, but it's also going to be used for tracking. Okay, and if Esau has these radio frequency identification chips in you, then he's able to track you wherever you go. The stronger the signal, the bigger the tower, the stronger the signal. Okay. So this is what he's planning to do. All right. Now, is he going to fulfill his enterprise? To an extent, he will. But he's not going to. He's not because he's doing this for the sake of getting his blessing back, trying to get his blessing back. Going back into the book of Genesis with Jacob and Esau, where Esau sold his birthright for a pot of red meat, man. Okay, so now look what he's doing. He's destroying everything in his path and doing everything in his evil Rolodex to try to take the world over. Okay, but he's not going to be able to fulfill that enterprise, as it says in the book of Job. Is that Job, the 5th chapter, in the 20th verse, I believe. Right? Oh no, 5 and 12, not 20. All right. So this is Job chapter 5 and verse 12. It says, "He disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise." Right. But at the same time, what are they doing? They think that they're going to fulfill it. Why? Because of Second Thessalonians, the second chapter, it says that he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So Esau, Edom is just doing. He's doing ultimately what the Most High is allowing him to do. Right. So it looks like he gonna be successful, but the Most High said no. And Isaiah the 29th chapter says, "As when a hungry man dreameth, and he eateth, and then he waketh, and he is not filled." Pretty much, what Esau dreams about doing and fulfilling, the Most High is going to snatch that right from him. Okay? So, in the midst of Esau trying to fulfill his enterprise, look what you're doing. Right? And, now think about it. With these cell phones, everybody has a cell phone. Everybody has a tablet. Everybody has some type of wireless device. And they're operating off of these towers. Right? As you see the picture right here, you have, what appears to be an Edomite, is holding a tablet, right? It's operating off of what? Wi-Fi. It says, now let's get into the article some. It says 1 in 8 U.S. adults reported adverse health effects from exposure to wireless radiation, according to a peer-reviewed report of nationally representative survey results. The report published March 12th, and Next Research also included survey results from Australia and Canada showing that roughly 1 in 6 Australian adults and 1 in 13 Canadian adults experienced negative health effects from wireless radiation. Ann Steinemann, PhD, an honorary professor in the Infrastructure Engineering Department at the University of Melbourne, Australia, and one of the report's authors said in a press release that many people report feeling unwell around sources of electromagnetic radiation and wireless devices, including cell towers, cell phones, and Wi-Fi routers. Right? And everybody and their mama got a cell phone. Everybody and their mama got Wi-Fi routers. Right? Now, think about it with adults. We understand what radiation is, but children, they don't. And you have some children, like newborns and infants with their immune system. Either they don't have an immune system or their immune system is very weak. So what can that cause, right? Let's do a Google search on that. What does wireless radiation do to young children? Right? So this is just, let me see what it has. It says wireless radiation, RFEMR, poses higher risk to younger children because their thinner skulls and developing bodies absorb more radiation into their brains and bone marrow. Studies link chronic exposure to potential behavior issues, ADHD, cognitive delays, and increased cancer risk, prompting experts to recommend limiting children's screen time and wireless device usage, which a lot of this stuff, which that is true, right? It still affects adults too. But, as it says that with children, their bodies absorb more radiation. All right. It says children's brains and bodies absorb significantly more RF radiation than adults, with studies indicating that some exposure reached deeper into brain centers. Okay, so, essentially you're fucking people up, man. You're fucking up the kids. You're fucking up. Esau don't deserve to rule, man. Let's just put it like that. You don't deserve to rule, man. Okay, and your time of being taken out of the way is nigh at hand. All right. So it says let's get back to this, and I want to get this clip that I came across, where it was an individual somewhere in North Carolina, where it was this massive tower, and it was just full of vultures, full of birds, and the birds were dropping dead. Now it was still full of birds, but a lot of them were dropping dead. Which I'll show that clip here in a second. I just want to read a little bit more of this, and then I'll get onto that. So it says, picking back up, sensitivity to wireless radiation, now called EMR syndrome, is a diagnosable medical condition, Steineman said. So we wanted to find out, how widespread is this condition? The authors analyzed survey responses from 3,475 adults who were randomly recruited in 2022 across the U.S., Australia, and Canada. It says the results reveal that over 26 million adults in the U.S., Australia, and Canada are experiencing health problems due to wireless radiation, the authors wrote their report. Right, and then it has the percentages here. It says 10.1% of U.S. Americans, 14.9% of Australians, and 5% of Canadians have been medically diagnosed as being sensitive to wireless radiation, right? But you can't escape it. You can't tell people, man, get rid of your phone. We get rid of your phone. No, you can't stop people from doing what they want to do, because guess what? Everybody's programmed, right? Everybody's programmed to have a phone in their hand. Hey, even us, we have phones in our hands mainly for studying and mainly for looking at information that we share with amongst each other. So the radiation is, hey, this is why we're being protected by Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, the hopeful elect is being protected by Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, because these same things, they do have effect on us, but we're still able to do this work. We're still able to sit here and be cognitive, right? And what we push here, I say different elders and brothers push heavily, is eating right, so that way our body can be able to survive in this wicked ass kingdom. All right. Now I'm gonna get straight into this clip, right? And it's fair use. As you see, let's put
it back. Check out this epic tower, bro. This thing is lit with vultures. And I literally came over here and parked because I wanted to see if any are dropping dead off of this thing, right? So check this out, bro. You can't make this up. Is that a coincidence, bro? Is that a coincidence? Riddle me, bro. Look. These things are dropping dead off this tower, or what? Is that just natural causes? I don't know, guys. What do you guys think?
Right. So, obviously, it's not natural causes, because, the Most High created life to flourish, right? To be abundant. Esau, Edom, is stripping the world of that, right? This is why he has to be taken out of the way. All right. But I just wanted to touch on that, man. It was very interesting when I came across that article. And it just shows another aspect of Esau, Edom's evil, right? His hatred towards humanity. Right. So, with that being said, I'll leave it there. I pray this is edifying, and I'll post a link to the article in post-production in the description. Right. So that being said, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Racha Kodash. Double honor to the elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, love, and safety is to the elect. Shalom.